Recently, Google Analytics released a new feature that helps you to prevent accidental collection of personal identifiable information from your website. In this video, I will show you how to enable this feature, how it works, and when you can rely on it. You can find data redaction under Admin Settings, Data Streams, Stream Details, Redact Data. For properties created after October 2023, email redaction will be enabled by default. In other cases, you will need to manually enable it here. Email redaction will use text patterns to identify text that is likely an email address and replace it with redacted string. As per Google, it will look for emails across all event parameters, including all URL query parameters that are collected as part of any event. Second setting, URL query redaction, will remove any additional information that is or can be collected as part of URL. For example, if some of your URLs pass a visitor's full name, you can list that parameter here and Google Analytics will redact it. Note that URL redaction will apply only to most common URL parameters listed here. If you're passing URL in other parameters, then your data will not be removed. So with these settings enabled, data redaction will happen on client side after Google Analytics modifies or creates new events. So this way, no personal data reach Google servers. Below the settings, you can also test URLs with all of the parameters to see what values will be redacted and how that URL will look like in your reports. When I add URL with all parameters, I can see that for email, it redacted anything that contained email, not only parameters that I have added here in the settings. This is because we have enabled this email redaction. Unfortunately, at the moment, you can't test event parameters the same way as we have tested URL. So let's put this feature to a test and create an event that is full of personal data to see if something can get through. In Tag Manager, I've added a simple GA4 event that will send not only URL with the personal data that I have just used as an example, but also additional parameters like a custom parameter with the value of email, then parameter with encoded values here, and also custom URL parameters for an example, one with the regular URL string and one with URL encoded string, since URL encoded values might be passed to Google instead of the regular ones. If you would run this in preview mode, you would see that values are indeed redacted before they are sent to GA, which is good. So I'm using a plugin in Google Chrome just to see what values are passed to my GA4 account. This is where we are sending full URL to Google Analytics, and we can see that full name and phone does not have any values, they are redacted. And this is what Google Analytics will receive. And this is because we have these parameters added as part of URL query redaction. And then we have parameters that we have not specifically provided in the settings, but they are removed because they contain an email, and we have enabled email redaction from the settings. So for email redaction, it doesn't matter what values you are using here, email will still be removed. And we can see that from custom parameter, regular email was removed. But if we URL encode email value, then this is still sent to GA4. Then from custom URL parameter, you will see that email is removed because email redaction checks any event parameters, but we still see full name and phone values. And this is because URL query redaction checks only the default values that were listed before. And we see the same behavior for URL encoded values, that none of the values were actually redacted. We see that email was not removed, and also custom parameters were not removed due to the settings, same as here. You can also double check what values reach GA4 in debug view. You will see there the same picture as we have just checked in the console. So we have page location, full name is redacted, phone is also redacted, and we also have redacted emails for additional custom parameters. And the same values for custom parameter, no email here, and for URL encoded, this value is fully passed to GA. but you will see it as URL encoded here since this is the string that we have sent to Google Analytics. As you can see, the good news that Google is working in that direction, and for some cases, data redaction can prevent some data leaks, so it won't harm to keep these settings enabled. The bad news, it won't magically prevent personal data captures, so you might want to set up additional safety net in your tag management system or directly from website to prevent capturing personal data in GA4. Also, in case you were wondering, then this feature will work only for web tracking and events collected on the website. Data redaction will not be applied to measurement protocol requests or data import. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching till the end. Like this video if you found it useful and subscribe for more Google Analytics 4 content.